Alright, in this video we will continue practicing using trig identities to find the value of trig functions. Right now we are working with the Pythagorean identities, of which the main one is sine squared theta plus cosine squared theta equals 1. But we found that by dividing everything by cosine squared theta we could get the middle one. And by dividing everything by sine squared theta, we could get the bottom one. So we'll use all three versions, but basically they all boil down to the yellow one. And in fact, I see cosine right here is what we're given. So why not go ahead and use the main version of the identity, which is sine squared theta plus cosine squared theta is equal to 1. So I'm going to take this 1/3 and substitute in right there. So that's going to make sine squared theta plus 1/3 squared is equal to 1. So that's sine squared theta plus 1/9 is equal to 1. To get sine squared theta by itself, you would subtract 1/9 from both sides. So you're going to have sine squared theta is equal to. Now 1 is a chameleon. You can turn that into anything. Since we need a denominator of ninths, let's think of this 1 as 9/9. So 9/9 minus 1/9 is 8/9. And then we will take the square root of both sides. Don't forget your plus or minus for now. Okay, so that is going to give us sine theta is equal to plus or minus. And for now I'm just going to write the square root of 8 over 3. Okay. Now, I may simplify that radical 8 later. Now, we are supposed to find the cotangent of theta. Well, hold on. Let's decide whether it's positive or negative. That's all about the quadrant. Now, so if you look at a diagram of my unit circle, it says between 3 pi over 2 and 2 pi. So here's 3 pi over 2, here's 2 pi. So we are definitely talking about the fourth quadrant. And in this quadrant, the sine function is negative because on the unit circle, sine is the y value, and y values are negative below the x-axis. So we now know that it's going to be the negative version. So we're really looking for a cotangent though. And we know that cotangent is cosine over sine. Alright, because tangent is sine over cosine, so cotangent is the reciprocal. So what about it? So I've got, cotangent theta equals. So I need cosine. Well, that's what they gave us in the first place. So that's 1/3. And then now I need sine. Well, that's negative radical 8 over 3. Now, how do you divide with fractions? You multiply by the reciprocal. So that's going to give you cotangent is equal to 1/3 times negative 3 over radical 8. So these 3's are going to cancel each other out. And that's going to give me negative 1 over radical 8. And that's going to be your answer. We could rationalize the denominator if we wanted to, but I'm going to leave it like that. Alright, number 6. Let's look at another example. I see that cosine again, so that makes me want to use the main identity. sine squared theta plus cosine squared theta, all right, there it is equal to 1. So I'm going to put this in right there. So I'm going to have sine squared theta plus, all right, and so I put the negative 2/3 in, I got to square that, is equal to 1. So that'll be sine squared theta plus 4 over 9. Of course, the negative goes away because I'm squaring, is equal to 1. At that point, I would subtract 4/9 from both sides. Now, I recognize that 1 is kind of a chameleon. Since I need a denominator of 9, I'm going to turn that 1 into 9 over 9. So there I go. So that'll give me sine squared theta is equal to, now 9/9 minus 4/9 is 5/9. And when I take the square root of both sides, don't forget your plus or minus, I'm going to get sine theta is equal to plus or minus radical 5 over 3. I was able to take the square root of the 9. Now let's decide if it's positive or negative. Well, we're talking about between pi and 3 pi over 2. So here's pi, here's 3 pi over 2. So we're talking about this quadrant. Sine is definitely negative in the third quadrant. Okay, so we have that. So now we're supposed to find the cotangent. Well, we know that tangent is sine over cosine. So that means cotangent has got to be cosine over sine. Okay, so the cosine, I feel like I need more room. All right, so cotangent is cosine over sine. I'll just write that down. Now over here where I have more room, I'm going to say cotangent theta is equal to, cosine is negative 2/3 and sine is negative radical 5 over 3. And the way you divide with fractions is you multiply by the reciprocal. So that's negative 2/3 times negative 3 over radical 5. Reciprocal. So these 3's are going to cancel, and negative times negative is a positive. So that means I've got the cotangent of theta is equal to 2 over radical 5. All right, so I'm going to stop this video here with that example. And I still have 2 more videos to come. So if you would like to see more examples, look for the next video.